In 2016, both Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama said it was impossible to hack American elections. Today, though, Hillary Clinton accused President Trump of, quote, surrender to Russia, with whom she apparently thinks we're at war, by not doing more to stop Russian interference. Philippe Reines is a longtime Russia hunter, an enemy of the Kremlin, also a former Hillary Clinton advisor. He worked with her at State and other places. He joins us tonight. So, Philippe, how is Trump, what exactly specifically should Trump be doing against the Russians right now?
Well, let me try it this way. Let's forget about 2016. Let's assume that he won 50 states, 535-0. She came out of her voting booth and said, you know what, he's so great, I voted for him. Nothing happened in 2016. Let's assume for a moment that Donald Trump's CIA director, his director of national intelligence, and his director of the NSA testified before Congress and told him, presumably, that North Korea was attempting and planning on disrupting our elections in 2018 as a precursor to 2020. And they were doing so with the intent of disrupting the incumbents, and they might hurt House members who are incumbents. What conversation we would be having then?
I would say, here's, I've been here most of my life. I don't really care what a lot of people in Washington State because they're dishonest and stupid.
Well, for a moment, let's stipulate.
You really telling me that Russia, which has a contracting economy and population and position on the world stage, a single military base outside its own borders, is a graver threat to the United States than China, or even in the same ballpark?
Well, first off, I don't think it's whack-a-mole. They could both be significant adversaries.
We're not talking at all. We're sucking up to China. Our business sector, our entertainment sector, our political sector, all kowtow toward China. We're not.
I'm not defending China.
No, but I'm just saying, what we're hearing from the Democratic left is that the existential threat to the country is from Russia, and the facts don't show that. It's insane, actually.
The intelligence show, and it's intelligence presented by Donald Trump's appointees, Republican appointees, that they are going to interfere with our 2018 election.
How exactly are they going to do that?
They've done it a number of ways. First of all, we've now learned that they got into the registration rolls of 7 states prior to election day.
So how do you imagine? I mean, look,
how did they get into Sony? I mean, the North Koreans got into Sony.
But I mean, it's like a serious question.
I mean, you and I can't talk about how someone does or doesn't hack anything.
Hold on. Democrats have pushed
after talking about 2 people who got into the DNC.
Look, I'm against foreign hacking. China is the primary offender.
So what should we be doing about it?
We never mentioned that. Democrats have pushed for years online voting because they think it will increase their share of the turnout because it makes it easy and their voters don't like to get out of bed and go to the polls. So how can they still
I'm nodding, but I don't agree with that.
Okay, but how can they still be pushing for online voting if we face this hacking threat from foreign countries? Why wouldn't we just use paper ballots?
I don't think this is as simple as online voting. Who in the United States...
That's not more vulnerable than paper ballots?
Who in the United States is in charge of protecting us against China? Interfering with our elections, even if it's hard, even if it's going to fail. Who's in charge?
Well, presumably you would think our captains of industry, of entertainment, Silicon Valley, our military, our State Department.
Who's in charge of fighting opioids?
I don't know. I mean,
Kellyanne Conway.
Okay.
Look. Why wouldn't there be a White House coordinator?
But what would he do? I guess that's what I'm saying.
Or she.
Okay, well, I'm actually using the broadly accepted pronoun that can stand for either one.
But let's just say it was Mike Pence for a moment.
Right.
What he would do is he would do a number of things. First of all, he would take a whole-of-government approach. But specifically, you hit a good point, which is that this also involves the private sector. This involves Facebook. This involves Google. He could bring people together and they could share best practices.
The first thing you would do is you would say no electronic voting, because it's vulnerable to foreign hacking. Yet Democrats are pushing electronic. Yes, you would. Of course, any system.
I have a better source than you do. I wouldn't.
No, I have better sources. And also I have common sense, which trumps all, which tells you that any system in which electronic data transfers between 2 points is vulnerable to hacking.
Yeah, but all voter rolls are electronic already.
Okay, but voting itself in states with paper ballots is safer than those that have electronic voting. Yet Democrats are pushing for electronic voting, even though they claim Russia's going to hack the election. How can that be?
I think we were talking about
No, we're talking about the same thing. No, we're talking about the same thing.
Oranges.
Our democratic vulnerabilities.
That argues for the next 100 years to use paper as opposed to making sure our voting systems are.
Oh, because I gave you a specific thing that we can do to harden our democracy, and you laughed because it might hurt Democrats.
I didn't laugh. You said it's the first thing I wanted to do.
It's the obvious thing, but no one wants to do it.
But let's set aside hacking. Let's just use the word screwing around or interfering.
20 seconds. Hit me with it.
If it's interfering.
Yeah.
Let's just say they can't do it. Let's just say they're bad at it. Let's forget about 2016. I know you got the people over here in the Nothing Burger camp, and you've got the people over here in the Double Whopper with cheese camp. What should we be doing that we're not? And it seems that the people in charge of protecting us do not think we're doing enough.
Okay. Well, then I think every Democrat in Congress should do, and every Republican, to suspend all electronic voting until we can be sure the Russians can't hack it. That way we can have total confidence in the integrity.
Why do we
of our
bank?
elections.
I mean,
why don't
we just go back to the fax machines and carrier
we're
pigeons?
not so worried about Russia all of a sudden. I love this. This is so
I'm
great.
the one worried. You're the one
talking to people. All right.
You do the Russia, the China ball over here.
Philippe, great to see you.
Always fun.